Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another episode of Prop Party. This is Wildcard Weekend Prop Party. So we'll go through alts, anytime touchdowns, parlays, and be able to show same game parlay in just 1 minute. That's right. I can't believe this is our first postseason prop party. The regular season's over. We're on to the NFL postseason. I'm sad. I hate non-NFL season and just love. I wish NFL could be like 50 weeks a year. But on we go to the postseason. We're going to find some winners here. And of course, joined by my guys every Thursday here, Tyler and Steve. Tyler, how are you doing? And what are you thinking about this postseason wildcard slate?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, it's kind of bittersweet that we're at the playoffs already. Yeah. I said the spread earlier in the week. I swear it feels like yesterday we were talking about Isaiah Likely's toe not being in bounds, and here we are.
I know.
18 weeks later, that fast.
Isn't that wild?
It kind of sucks, but at the same time, this is the best part of football was the playoffs. So
true.
Now we get to pick teams, say we're going to win the championship, and stick to our guns and see if our teams can get there. So it's going to be a fun one.
I like it. You've been targeting different futures we'll keep an eye on. We're going to find some postseason winners here in the props, touchdowns, and just certainly talking through some parlays. And again, we're going to build a show same game parlay at the end, as we always do. Got to say hi to our guy, Jamie in chat. Always good to see you. He said, can't stay busy at work. I'll listen to the replay. We always appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you very much. Steve, how are you doing? And what are you thinking about this wild card slate?
Yeah, doing well. And to Tyler's point, it does seem like week one, and in part because we have two rematches from week one.
Yeah.
The Philly Green Bay and Tampa Washington. So, that's crazy to think about because I remember us talking about those games, on the show and just other things. So yeah, it's really nuts that we're here, but should be an interesting wild card weekend. Through Monday, and especially we do need to see Monday. Just there's a chance that game gets moved with the wildfires out in LA, so that could go to Arizona, which would be a little interesting. But yeah, just kind of a crazy week all around, and we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're into the college football play. I don't really follow college football nearly as closely as you guys do. Who do you guys have tonight and tomorrow? I'll go quickly to each. Steve, who wins tonight and tomorrow night in the college football playoffs?
Oh, I don't know. Like I'm leaning towards that we will get a Notre Dame winning tonight.
Okay.
And then I really don't know about tomorrow's game. I really could see it going either way.
Okay.
I do think Notre Dame wins tonight, though.
Okay. What about you, Tyler? You have any picks for college football playoffs?
I'm on the same page. I think Notre Dame wins. I think they're one of the better college teams. Their offensive defensive lines are huge compared to other college teams.
Yeah.
And Penn State had the easiest path to get here. So I think Notre Dame wins tonight. I'm just going to lean towards Julio Jones 2.0 tomorrow. Like, unless Ohio State goes back to just we're going to be smash mouth football,
right?
You just throw that kid the ball and you're going to win.
Yeah, he's so good.
When does he come to the? Will he likely come to the NFL?
He's 3 more years.
Yeah. What shit! Wow.
Meg, this is how good this kid is. His 1 year this year matches Terry McLaurin's stats for his 4 years at Ohio State.
Yeah. What? Oh my goodness! Oh wow.
Partly because McLaurin was never like the 1 or 2 at Ohio State. He was always like the wide receiver 3. But it's still, like this kid is. Ohio State has produced stud after stud.
That's what I was just going to say. They produce
Wilson,
stud receivers.
Harrison, JSN. He's
Terry.
already as good. He's already as good as all of them. And if he gets better, yeah.
All right. We got our guy, Tim, in chat. He needs a Pittsburgh Green Bay Super Bowl in the best ball playoffs. Not looking great.
We got to get that man a time machine back to 2012.
Hey, then you'd be printing. Yeah. loves Jordan Love. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love could, who knows? I mean, he's got a very tough matchup this week against the Eagles, but you never know. We'll talk through it. Maybe we can get on some Jordan Love stacks for you, or Jordan Love props for you, but we'll see. We'll get there. But good luck to your playoff best ball teams, Jane or Tim. We always appreciate you joining us in chat. All right, let's talk alts first, guys. Of course, we've got 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, 1 game on Monday. Tyler's team's playing Saturday. Steve and I's team's playing Sunday night. So what are we targeting in the alt market? Tyler, what are you eyeing up?
All right. I'll start with the first. I'll just kind of go down the list here. The
Sure.
first game, I want Joe Mixon's alts. He's kind of right back to where he was at the beginning of the year. You're getting plus money at 80. When you get up to 100, you're getting close to plus 350. The Chargers are good. I like the team. I like what they're looking at as a future, but when you look back at their schedule, they really didn't play anybody worth anything outside of the Chiefs. Their defense, it's good, but it's held a lot of weak offenses to doing nothing. And when they do play good offenses, they give up a ton. Houston's not the best offense, but they're one of the better ones they've played this year. They're at home. I think Nico Collins can get open against his defense and keep the pass game alive. And I think Joe Mixon's going to be able to run the ball very well. So I'll be on Joe Mixon's alts. I think that game stays close and it's through him. As for the Pittsburgh game, the weather shows 31 degrees, 8 miles an hour wind. There's no Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Well, if it's only going to be 8 mile an hour winds, they'll still be able to throw the ball. No Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely still sitting at 27.5 receiving yards.
I love it Likely this week. Yeah.
Take that thing up to 50 or 60.
Yeah. I know he didn't do a ton in the last. He did in the first matchup against the Steelers. Then I think
on the last matchup.
And the last matchup, caught a touchdown. Didn't have a ton of yards. I think it was like right around 30. But I think he had 75 in the first matchup. So yeah, without Flowers, I just have to think they lean into him there out of the slot.
Yeah, Denver Buffalo. I think Buffalo steamrolls this Denver team. I'll be on James Cook alts like I'll be on Joe Mixon's all the way up to 100. I think they play with the lead and they're just running the ball. Philly Green Bay is where it gets weird because Saquon's number is so high already. Are you going to take him up to 150? Do you take the pass game and hope Hurts can get one of them involved? To be completely honest, I think I just stay away and just play the side in that game and just stay on Philly. I'll let you guys talk about the Washington Tampa Bay game.
That has fireworks.
There is a ton of stuff to talk about in that one.
Yeah.
And then Rams Vikings. I think we're all going to have the same game parlay built around the pass game. Both teams will be able to move the ball through the pass. Kyron should be able to move it on the ground also, but Darnold to throw for 250, Stafford to throw for 250, the receivers to go over. You could actually put a really good same game parlay in that game. Speaking of same game parlays, Meg.
Yeah.
We hit our Mike Evans one last week.
That's right. I totally forgot that. Yeah. That was that you totally nailed that with like just basically bracket it because it's not going over. Wow, that is amazing. Yeah. No, I thought about you when it was like in that close window. Because I definitely felt like he was going to get it, and they obviously were on a mission to make sure he got it. But no, I definitely thought about you. That's awesome. That was such a good call out on your part. All right, I like those looks kind of game by game. Steve, you want to go through a quick game by game and what stands out to you?
Yeah. So in the first game, I agree. I like Mixon, but on the other side, give me Ladd McConkey. Second half of the year, he just really stepped up. Quinn Johnson's a little banged up, but I'm guessing he plays, and you can always go to him as well. But Ladd McConkey is also going to be the one who I think avoids Stingley and some of the tougher Texans coverage. They'll utilize him in the slot, just get him involved. I like him 80, 90, even 100. Second game, that Steelers-Baltimore game. Obviously, the tight ends look good. And I think both sides. I think Pat Freiermuth is playable as well. But I'm going to target Rashard Bateman. Bateman's had a good year. People dog on him for years with the injuries and all that. He's had a good year. He's had way more touchdowns than Zay Flowers. And now no Zay Flowers. So, you start at 50, that's minus 105. Go to 60 plus 150. 70 plus 225 is what I'm seeing on DraftKings. I like that number. Steelers secondary is good, but definitely exploitable at times. In the Denver Bills game, I agree. James Cook is probably my favorite option, but give me something on the other side. Marvin Mims, Denver's
Love
probably going to be
Mims,
throwing
yeah.
this entire game. 50 plus is plus 125. 60 plus is plus 210. 70 plus 320. This
We
is a
talked
guy
about Mims last week, and he's been strong target share, explosive player. We targeted him last week. He hit 40 and 50 last week. Yeah,
exactly, and they are getting him. They are dialing up plays for him.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he can break screens. He can be a deep threat guy. He's definitely more involved. Sutton's going to get the targets. Sutton's going to get the red zone looks.
Yeah.
But Mims is the guy who could go from 40 yards to 100 yards just because of one or two plays.
Right.
The Packers Philly game.
It is a tough one. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah.
I will probably take shots at the Green Bay receivers just because when their lines are a little lower.
I mean, they're all
Jaden
like
Reed
around
did it.
40, 50.
Yeah, Jaden Reed did it week 1. I know Wicks got shut out week 1, but Wicks historically has been better when Christian Watson has not been on the field. I will probably take Wicks just because I think you're getting the best number there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go too high, but I mean, 60 plus is plus 195. If you go to 70, that's plus 300. We have seen Philly give up the pass a little bit more of late.
Mm-hmm.
That a couple weeks ago against Dallas, Cooper rushed through for like 270 or something like that.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels in the comeback had a big game.
Mm-hmm. And it was
Thielen had a big game.
A bunch of Crowder and Zacchaeus too. So it wasn't even.
Yeah. So I think that's there. And then the Washington Tampa game, I think you can approach this basically any way you want. The lines are not prohibitive for anyone, is the way I look at it. I like Bucky Irving, probably rush receiving the best, but Mike Evans, I think people are going to be scared of the Marshawn Lattimore thing, right. But Evans is the guy, and Baker has shown he's going to throw the ball to him. I mean, he's going to eat targets. I don't mind Jalen McMillan as well.
As I say, because you can get him at 60 plus. Yeah.
Yeah, 60 plus 110, 70 plus 170. I will be interested to see if Kate Otten is healthy. Tight ends have given Washington trouble throughout the year. Because he's missed some time and everything, 40 plus 160 compared to Zach Ertz, 40 plus is minus 105. That's a big difference. Otten was heavily involved in the middle of the season, then he got kind of banged up. It's the playoffs. They're going to get him involved. So, and then the final game, this is where the same game parlays are going to be very interesting. I love the passing side. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is a stud, but Jordan Addison, 70 plus 145, 80 plus 215. Again, a guy who gets some deep targets. Rams secondary is very, very weak, very exploitable. And this might not even be a home game for them, like I said. And whether it is or not, I like the Viking side of this passing. Aaron Jones has been banged up these last couple weeks. I'm sure he's going to play through this, but they just might not be able to run the ball as much as they, like to earlier in the year.
Yeah. Well, just to kind of summarize all your guys' thoughts, I mean, I like basically which guys you're targeting in which games. A couple other things I'll throw out on top of that. Quarterback rushing. We see in the playoffs, postseason, everything's on the line, elimination game. These guys are going to lay it on the table. Typically, whether they're rushing quarterback like Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Hurts, I'm not touching his rushing, obviously coming out the concussion. That would be the one no for me. But the other quarterbacks, whether they're running quarterbacks or just athletic quarterbacks like Herbert and Nix, these guys are going to take off if they're in trouble. So I'm definitely interested in these guys rushing lines. Like I was just scrolling through, and Herbert's, you're getting plus money on 25. Nix, you're getting plus money. It's minus 130. So his line's just over 25. I'm looking at the alts right now. Obviously with the running quarterbacks, you're going to have to go to like 60 plus with Jaden Daniels. What was Allen? Actually, you get plus money 50 on Allen too. So I love the quarterbacks just taking off and running. And I also want to target some lower lines with running back receiving as well. My favorite one being Austin Eckler, I think should get some targets in our game, 25 plus, whether you want to approach a receiving or like 3+ receptions. I like that for Eckler. Think you could ladder that. And I think you could do it with the, Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. But no, you're definitely getting some good looks for some running backs out of the backfield. Especially, I think you could go Jalen Warren if he bounces back. He wasn't involved last week. If Austin Eckler gets more involved in the passing game, those are probably my two favorite. But you could look at some other running backs too. And then finally, I'll mention, you mentioned Jordan Addison. We have two guys. I'm not going to make a big stand on Pickens, but you have multiple guys coming off zeros here. Just absolutely putting up duds. And Addison, Pickens. Do we see a bounce back? Do you think that you talked about Addison? I'm just checking, what is Pickens' line? What's your thought on the Pickens receiving? Do you think I think he got this. Did he get his line in both the Ravens games?
He didn't
Tyler
play in the second.
He didn't play in the second.
Because it's only 60 plus you're getting.
He got it in the first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My worry is he's one of these dudes where it's like if things aren't going good, like he starts to pout.
Yeah.
Things haven't been going good for about 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
How close is he to the edge where he's just like, I'm done? He might be over that edge already after seeing what happened last week. So I'm not putting a single dollar on that man.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get it.
There's also rumblings that this could be his last game in a Pittsburgh uniform.
Well, yeah, I get the organization, the coach is being fed up with him. So, yeah, I mean, it's a shame. He's so damn good, but he is a head case. So it'll be interesting. I could see that going either way. Like, again, he's just a head case and just checks out, or he could have an explosive game and you're getting able to ladder him up, so it's definitely massive risk there. But I do like the Addison call. These guys are coming off zeros. I do think that certainly the Minnesota passing game should bounce back. And again, Tim talked about it when we talked about it, but likely is so good. Should operate out of the slot, fill that Flowers role. Absolutely love, taking him up to, like you said, like go to 50. I like that. He got 60. Yeah, he got 75 in that first matchup. So definitely love the likely targets. Are we missing it? But I mean, honestly, I wrote down a lot of the ones we mentioned. Mims, you all mentioned Mims, Ladd McConkey, likely Bateman, really the passing game in the Minnesota Chargers game, Mims, Wicks, Bucky, so we talked about a lot of these, but yeah. And then I added like the quarterback rushing for certain guys and running back receiving. Anything else we're missing before we talk touchdowns?
I think we touched on everything.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll go to each of you. Which one would you say of the all props is your favorite? Like which one stands out? Is this is your gold star? Tyler, I'll go to you first. Which one's your absolute favorite?
Probably the Mixon one.
Okay. So Mixon's yours. Steve, what's yours? And then I'll try to.
I'm going to go Bucky Irving rush receiving. I just had it. Give me a second. Like you could do it either side, rushing or receiving. Like his receiving is only 25. I mean, this guy got like 70 yards 2 weeks ago, but 90 is minus 115. Oh no, it's rushing.
I think rush receiving was 120.
Yeah.
125
is plus 110, 150, 230. I don't mind that. I really think this is a guy who's been dominating out of the backfield. Running backs catching ball out of the backfield have hurt Washington a decent chunk. But this week one matchup, I think White and Irving combined for like 80 yards receiving. And that's when White was getting the majority of the work. Now it's flipped. Irving's obviously getting the vast majority of the work. So, I just think you can, and you'll exploit him. And if Lattimore is covering Evans, who's going to benefit? It's going to be Bucky Irving.
Yeah, no, I like that. My favorite's probably Ladd McConkey, 80. He's been steady and solid for Herbert and the Chargers. I think he absolutely, whatever the Chargers game script is, remains the go-to guy. And I just love betting on Ladd. So, and I will say, I really, really do love these spots that are lower lines, like attacking likely, 40 to 70, like attacking the Mims, the range 50 plus, like I said, to some of those running back receiving or especially Eckler. I really like the Eckler receiving and then some of those quarterback rushing. So those are kind of my asterisks, but my first one is Ladd as far as just a favorite play. All right. Touchdowns. Who are we looking, obviously the juiced ones, we're talking more like the plus odd touchdowns. Who are your favorite touchdowns this week? I'll go to you first, Tyler.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's the chalky guys everyone's going to want. I'm trying to find a few guys that we can get huge prices on.
Yeah.
One name that sticks out to me, it's in this first game. We got to figure out where he is on the depth chart and see if we can get any news out of what he's going to look like for the Texans, and that's Deontay Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He could be wide receiver 2 on the field for them. He could be in the slot. He could easily garner 5 to 6 targets in this game next to Nico Collins. They kind of haven't used him since he's been there, but he's been in all the practices. He hasn't been injured, so he's up to speed with everything. Were they saving him for the playoffs? Maybe. We'll find that out now. But you're getting a pretty big price on him to score a touchdown at plus 550.
Oh, wow.
Someone's got to be opposite of Nico Collins. Mechie's plus 425. Hutchinson's plus 425. Robert Woods is 550. I like Deontay Johnson the best out of all of them. It's just figuring out if he's going to get the playing time. So he's one I like. I'm going to go to your game, the Washington game.
Yeah.
I love some Jalen McMillan right here.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to want.
He's been a touchdown monster these last.
Everyone's going to want Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Baker gets down there. He looks at Mike Evans, and then all of a sudden he looks over, and McMillan's wide open almost every time.
Yeah.
McMillan's still plus 155. I'll take a shot on him. And I don't mind also taking the shot on K. Dot in that game at plus 290. That price is really high. And if he doesn't play, you could also just bet Payne Durham at plus 275.
Yeah.
They have him listed at the same exact price.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
So those would be a couple guys I'm targeting. I mean, Derrick Henry, of course, probably finds the box. We're not giving out minus 180s on this. So
I like those plus. Like you said, the Deontay Johnson's risky, but you get paid off for it if it hits. But yeah, I like those calls. Which one's your favorite touchdown on the board?
Favorite touchdown's gonna be McMillan.
I think that a lot.
I think that's a shootout. I think Tampa gets in the end zone at least 3 to 4 times. He probably finds one of them.
Which makes me, honestly, I do like Bucky Irving, but he could get it in the receiving game too. If he finds the end zone, I think when. I like Baker to throw for 3+ touchdowns again. He threw 4 in that first game, Steve?
Yeah, and there should have been a 5th one, but there was a penalty on McMillan was wide open.
Oh, it was actually to McMillan, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a penalty that called it back, so it could have been easily 5.
Okay. Yeah, no, love if you want to get fun, I think you could take it further than 3, but Baker, you get plus money on 3+ touchdowns. So I think that's fun too. Okay, Steve, your favorite touchdowns?
Real quick, I will do one for each game just because I think it's fun when we have 6 games like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my favorite is actually J.K. Dobbins at plus 105. It's safe, it's simple. I think you could approach that in a couple different directions with the Chargers, who I do think are going to win with McConkey or QJ, but Dobbins is the one. Ravens, I think, are interesting. Like Tyler said, Derrick Henry is pretty much a lock. So if you're going to bet it, just bet 2 touchdowns or bet first touchdown scored, so you're getting plus money. But I'm going to say, we've seen Bateman and Andrews have just massive red zone rolls and touchdown rolls this year. They're both on DraftKings plus 155. I like both of them. I'll probably bet on both of them because there's many games where both of them get there. So it's not even like you're really hurting yourself by doing that.
I don't mind Likely though at 280 too.
And Likely I am a fan of as well. And I do like that number. Honestly, very likely will bet, no pun intended, bet on all 3 just because I think the Ravens are going to score a couple touchdowns and probably at least 2 of those 3 guys are going to get one. Bills game, obviously Josh Allen, James Cook are the way to go typically, but I will say, if for some higher odds, Keon Coleman just is Josh Allen's guy in and around the end zone. You're getting plus 280. He came back from the injury a couple weeks ago. I could just see him have a red zone role. If you want to go the other side, like I said before, Cortland Sutton is the Denver red zone guy at plus 155. Those are my 2 favorite in that. Packers Eagles, Saquon is obviously a great option. I don't know how much they'll do the tush push with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, he missed a lot of time, but Dallas Goedert plus 260. When they're in the red zone, they might be a little bit more pass happy if they don't want to trust the tush push too much. And then the Washington game, Jalen McMillan is definitely my favorite. But I will go on the other side and say Terry McLaurin. He is the Washington. His total target share isn't great, but he is the Washington red zone guy. At plus 115 is what I'm seeing on DraftKings. I wish it was a little better number, but I like that. I also don't mind Zach Ertz at plus 255. Tampa secondary is where you can beat them. So I do think Washington's probably behind or in a shootout. So I think they will be needing to throw the ball a lot. And then in the final game, obviously Kyron, Jefferson, Puka, all great options. Give me TJ Hawkinson plus 205 as my favorite option though in this game.
No, I like that. I'll just pick off a couple ones I didn't hear, but I loved all your guys' calls. I like Ladd in this spot too. I don't know if one of you guys mentioned that, but 150, obviously getting plus odds for Ladd McConkey. I like that. I agree with all your guys, options in the Pittsburgh Ravens game. Definitely think 2 touchdowns is in play for Henry. Always is. Same for Saquon. And then the Broncos game, you mentioned Sutton's red zone role. I agree, but we talked about Mims being so explosive, again, likely playing from behind. I don't mind the price on 2 plus 285 for Mims. And then, I don't know, the one like longer shot the odds I like plus 250 for Tucker Kraft, without Watson. Of course, you like the 3 receivers more, but I also kind of like Tucker Kraft in this spot too. And then the Washington game, agree with you guys. I think I'll probably just stick with the whole McMillan call. Mike Evans is plus 105 on DK, but the McMillan at plus 155, I love. So, I think those are all kind of our favorite touchdown looks. Tim says, just realized 2 tight ends from Massachusetts and Pittsburgh, Baltimore, both from Mass. I'm assuming he means who is it? Andrews and who? Do you know, Steve?
No, he said likely in Prime.
Oh, likely. Missed that part. Woo. I do like the tight ends in that game. All right. Any other touchdowns before we talk parlays, guys?
Nope. That's it for
All
me.
right. Tyler, we're going to build a show same game parlay together, but what would be like a parlay you'd put together on your own that just sticks out to you?
I'm going through right now, Megan, adding the legs together just to get the exact numbers on you. But I want to talk, you talked about it. These quarterbacks running.
Yeah.
They're going to all run.
Yeah.
Some of these numbers are really low.
Oh, I don't like where you're headed.
Yeah, I don't hate pairing together maybe 3 or 4 of these guys to go over their rushing yard prop.
Yep.
And just doing that is the parlay this week. Like, let's see. You could do Stroud over 13.5 rushing yards. Doesn't have many options on his offense. He could easily rush for 13 yards. He's ran a lot this year. Bo Nix over 26.5. I mean, they're probably down 30 before they realize it, and they can't run it, so he's the only thing that can run. Lamar Jackson over 50.5, and Baker Mayfield over 17.5 gets you a 12-1 ticket.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So I will take a shot on the quarterbacks using their feet this week. I think they're all going to run, and I think those are my favorite ones to run.
Ooh, I like that. I know you and I have talked about this before in the postseason, how quarterbacks will just take off with everything on the line. So,
yep.
I like that parlay a lot. Steve, what do you got for a favorite parlay?
I'm going to go with a same game parlay, and I'm going to focus on the Washington Tampa game.
I figured that's the one you're going to.
I'm going to start, and I like what you mentioned, the Baker 3 touchdowns, but I'm going to go Baker 275.
Okay.
To start, Bucky Irving, the 125 rush receiving, Austin Eckler 25 receiving, and Jalen McMillan 60 plus receiving, plus 1900. I think that those are very doable numbers.
Give that to me one more time, or for if anybody's jotting it down at home.
Baker plus 275 passing. Bucky plus 125 rush receiving. I also consider just doing his receiving 25 because it's kind of similar, but just in case he's breaking off some long runs. Austin Eckler plus 25 receiving, Jalen McMillan 60 plus receiving.
Yeah, wow. So that's a 17-1?
19-1.
19-1. No, I like that a lot.
I like that.
Yeah.
At least on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that. I'm going to do kind of what I mentioned about the lower lines. Let me just put this together as I'm talking. So, I mean, again, we talked about how you could push all these guys more, but I'm just putting in some of the lower lines I like. and I mean under 50 receiving yards, basically 50 or under. So I got likely 40 plus. Where did he go? Marvin Mims, 50 plus. He was my guy last week and he came through for me. So I'm feeling loyal here. I'm going to double down on the Austin Eckler, 25 plus. And I thought there was one other one that really stuck out to me. Well, we'll just stick with those three for right now. But those three together, 25 for Eckler, 40 for likely, 50 for Marvin Mims, is a 12-1. So I like that. Low hanging fruit. And I've had a lot of success with targeting the lower lines. And, a lot of times it is quarterback rushing, running back receiving, tight ends, that kind of stuff. But I had a disastrous night for the Lions-Vikings game. Obviously, if you were targeting big lines, nobody was really getting there, obviously, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs rushing, because I did target his receiving. And he's usually been just an absolute, green check mark in the Gibbs, or even when Montgomery was there, Gibbs and Montgomery running back their receiving line. So I would target that. That did not work. Obviously, his rushing just absolutely exploded, 4 touchdowns too. But I almost hit a small or low lines parlay in that one, and that was the only thing that was close, because everything else was absolutely rough in that game. But no, we did Tyler did a quarterback rushing, Steve did the same game parlay for Tampa, Washington, and I talked about a low lines parlay. All these will be in. We'll have our favorite alts, touchdowns, parlays that we land on Dub Club. Check out the link at the bottom or the homepage on fanspeak.com. Free link, free week, and then check it out. And then it's just actually, I'm resetting the price, but I believe it's just $25 for the rest of the NFL season. So that's all the postseason, all the Super Bowl props, and everything we land on for the Super Bowl as well. Can't believe that's just a few weeks away. We'll be talking about that, guys. But all right, guys, now it's time to build a show same game parlay. We could go bold and make it like pushing it crazy, or just keep it like kind of round at the lines. What do you guys want to do?
Fine either way.
I say we kind of each pick a player we really like to push a little bit. So Tyler, we'll let you go first. Who are you pushing, and what do you like?
We're going to push Isaiah Likely up to 40 plus.
There we go. See, I like it. Let's do it. Okay, so Likely 40. I like that. Steve, what do you got?
Ooh, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Marvin Mims.
Oh, I just did that in the low lines one. So let's pick one other one, because I just did Likely Mims. So let's do, even though I love that, but
I can swap my guy too, so we're not have two parlays riding on Likely to get 40.
Okay, well, I do love Likely and I do love Mims. I will say that, but yeah, let's do it different in case. Who else do you like?
Let's go with the Mixon 80 plus rushing. We'll go with the first number you can get in on the plus money.
Okay, Mixon 80. All right, Steve, what do you got?
I'm going to go to the Monday game and do Jordan Addison.
All right, Addison. So what number?
I will do 80 plus.
Okay.
Plus 215 on DraftKings.
Let me go find that. Addison. Oh, yeah, I almost clicked 70. Addison, 80. So we got 80 for Mixon, 80 for Addison. We got a Saturday game. We have a Monday game. I'm going to do Sunday. And we talked about a lot of different, I'll let you guys choose. I was either going to do Baker 3 plus touchdowns plus money, or pushing McMillan, because we all liked McMillan. You guys vote. I always let you vote and tie break my decisions.
I'll probably do Baker.
What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I'll go Baker.
Okay, that's a fun one. I mean, did he lead the league in touchdowns this year, Steve, or was he second? Was it him or Lamar? It was him and Lamar that were the two top ones. Right?
Burrow up there too.
Oh yeah, let me look it up really quick.
Time?
I think they may have. Hold on, let me QB, or could you look it up, Steve? While I'm
trying to look. Leaders touched.
I'll get it.
Thank you. Okay, I'm grabbing the Baker 3 plus touchdowns, which he has done several times this season. It was on yards.
Burrow led, and then Baker and Lamar were tied for second with 41.
That's what it was. Okay, what did Burrow have? Yeah, he had
43.
43, and then Baker and Lamar were tied for 41.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's had several 3+ touchdown games. I know because I've bet it. Okay, so those three together. Why is it not saving? Okay, those three together. We have almost a 20-1, and you have a Saturday, you have a Sunday, you have a Monday hammer there. So 80+ Mixon, 80+ or 3+ Baker passing touchdowns, 80+ Jordan Addison receiving. We will tweet this. We will put in Dub Club. Again, check out Dub Club. Free week, and then we'll have a package essentially for the rest of the postseason and Super Bowl.
If I could make a recommendation for people, since it's 3 separate days, I would do your normal bet on the 3, and then do a smaller bet to round robin. That way, you're not dead if the Mixon doesn't hit, and if then Addison fails on Monday, but the first 2 hit, you kind of made something back.
Yeah, it allows you to still have a sweat. If any one of them don't hit, hopefully you get 2 of them. So I like the round robin call. That's always a good reminder, especially with these fun alts. I like that. All right, guys, this is another fun prop party. Now, final thoughts for Wildcard weekend here, Tyler.
So final thoughts for Wildcard weekend. I don't think the games are going to be as exciting. It's still football, but I think we're getting a couple blowouts. But a couple of these teams shouldn't be in the playoffs to start with. That's the game of adding those couple extra seeds. So we're getting a couple blowouts. I just hope we don't get any major upsets. What fun is it if Pittsburgh goes out and beats Baltimore?
You're saying about your
we
own
all know
team.
Pittsburgh's getting annihilated by KC, and that literally lets Buffalo walk into the AFC Championship game to play KC. Let's at least get Buffalo, Baltimore, and get that matchup, and then the winner play KC.
That's true.
Let's get the best teams playing the best teams.
So you do not want your Steelers to move on, is basically what I'm hearing. Yeah. You're like, for the sake of football, I do not want the
don't
Steelers
upset the apple cart just to masquerade as we did something this year.
No, this is a fun Ravens team, and I kind of do want to see Ravens Bills, and I'm hoping Chargers win, and I want to see Chargers Chiefs. So I think we're all rooting for the same stuff though. But I mean, I have Steelers friends and family, friends like you and other family too. For those people, go Steelers. But I get what you're saying, and I'm with you there. Steve, final thoughts for the wild card round.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say, I do think it's interesting. Got a couple, some rematches, not just the week 1 ones, but
Rams Vikings.
Last week Tyler talked about the whole Mike Tomlin not successful in the playoffs. Same's true with Harbaugh. Harbaugh has not done well in the playoffs. And he is notoriously not done well against Steelers either. So
I know
there are some narratives here for that game, and I also think for the you have like the McVay versus understudy in the Rams Vikings game. So there's some fun narratives out there. I'll be interested to see, and hopefully they can play that game in LA with the fires and everyone's okay out there. But I do think the AFC is interesting because you kind of have these couple stacked teams that we look forward towards the Super Bowl. In the NFC, we all I think the Lions are the one to beat, but Tampa beat them. We saw Vikings had a mixed bag, a close game, and Vikings and Packers both had mixed bags, a close game and a blowout game against Detroit. So if one of those teams can go on a run, Tampa goes on a run to face Detroit, I think those are some of their toughest outs, maybe more than Philly. So
that's interesting.
It'll be interesting to see.
I'll just say that this has been such a fun season. Again, I want to enjoy each and every playoff week here because I love football season so much. So hopefully we gave you guys a lot of props, touchdowns, parlays to look at. Again, check out our Dub Club link at the bottom. We're on fanspeak.com homepage, and we're going to have shows each and every week. We've got 3 more weeks after this, right? So we got divisional, we got championship, we got Super Bowl, and I'm sure we'll have several or multiple Super Bowl shows to have you covered for every way possible for that. So it's been a fun season, but let's cash some props here and cash some bets in postseason. So for Tyler, for Steve, I'm Meg.
I got one last thing to say. I know Steve brought it up. He said that John Harbaugh has some troubles in the playoffs, and Tomlin does too. Well, fun fact, his brother that spent the last 8 years coaching Michigan has more playoff wins than Tomlin in the last, 15 years? So I mean, it's one guy was in college, the other guy couldn't win playoff games. Another fun narrative. I don't know if you guys know this one, but the Ravens just so happen to win the Super Bowl every 12 years with a 28-year-old quarterback.
I did not know that.
They won in 01 with Bilfer when he was 28. They won in 2013 with Flacco when he was 28.
That's wild.
Well, it's 2025, and anyone want to guess Lamar's age?
No shit. Is he 20?
Yep.
He's 20. That is wild. That is bananas. That is absolutely bananas. I did not know that stat. I just got chills. I did not know that stat. Those things freak me out. So that's wild. All right. Well, if Ravens go to the Super Bowl, we know who we're betting on. Just leaning into that and just throwing it all on the Ravens there. No, these narratives are going to be fun. We're going to cash some bets this week. So good luck this week, guys. For Steve, for Tyler, I'm Meg, and we will see you next week.